Now I was reading or listening to the audio for the War of Art, and there was something in there that captured my attention today. And I was sharing it with my son Aaron, and it was the difference between a professional and an amateur. And like we like to say, you know, the difference between elite versus the average. Like the person who doesn't want to play, or the person who has blinders on into what it really takes to be elite, right? Somebody who really just wants to be in the middle. And one of the things that stood out to me was one of the things I wanted to share with you today. The difference between somebody who is elite and average. The difference between a champion and an amateur. The difference between somebody who's a professional and an amateur typically is time. You see, when you choose to be a winner, when you choose to be the best in your field, time isn't a part of your equation anymore. You just say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. And you put forth all of the blood, the sweat, the tears. You run the miles. You put in the work. You put in the energy. You put in everything you got, your blood, sweat, tears, heart, and soul into this one thing. But the one thing that's not a part of your equation is time. You don't go, well, in 6 months, I'm going to make $1 million. At the end of this year, I'm going to make $1 million. Like a professional, a champion. It's really about the win. It's really about who they have to become. Less about this random payoff that amateurs and average people and people that settle for being middle and mediocre, that's how they measure the game. When you want to be the best, when you choose to be a champion, when you step across this line, past the point that most people can't enter into, you recognize that the sacrifice is not tethered to time. That you can't have the title if you're watching the clock. You just shoot, you just run, you just punch, you do whatever it takes, because time is not the equivalent of you being elite. You're just going to be elite. When you take a look at your life and the things that it is that you're trying to accomplish, you have to always think in your mind, am I being a professional or an amateur? Am I being a champion or an amateur? Am I being elite or average? Those things are always measured in how you take a look at the amount of work that you're willing to put in versus the time. Stop counting the clock. Stop looking at things and go, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to quit. Champions, professionals are willing to be the best no matter how long it takes.